Hello my dear students of Standard 6. Welcome to CMI's online classes. In today's class, we will start the new chapter from our English grammar, that is chapter 5, verbs. That means in this chapter, in this video, we are going to understand verbs and the kinds of verbs with their definition and examples. So let us discuss with the definition of verbs. So at first we have to understand what are verbs. See, verbs are those words that show action in sentences. They not only show the actions but also show the state of being and position of noun. But how they show the position and the state of being of nouns and how they show actions, let us discuss with the examples. So let's take help of some of the examples to understand these verbs which show actions, which show state of being and also show the position. Now let us take some examples. So in this section of our exercise, that is warm-up section, you can see on the screen it is written there, identify the verbs in these sentences. So let us try to identify verbs in these sentences. So just see the first sentence. In the first sentence it is written there, it was a great fun. It was a great fun. So try to find out if any word is there that shows action, or if any word is there that shows the state of being or the position. So let us try to find out. It was a great fun. So the word here was. The word was show the state of being, that it was fun. It was a great fun. So here the word was show the state of being, so it is a verb. Let us take another example. So example number 2, I am an engineer. So in this sentence also the word am shows the state of being of the subject I. So this is also a verb. Understood? Now let us take another example. My mother drives well. So what is the action here done by the subject? My mother. Mother is the subject here. So the action done by mother is drives. So drives is the word that show action in the sentence. So this is verb. So this is verb. Why this sentence drives is a verb? Because it shows the action of the subject. But in the first and second sentence, these two words do not show any action, but it tells us about the state of being of the subject. Understood? So I have told you that the verbs are not only the action words, but also those words that also show the action of being and possession. Now see here. Let us take us another example. Example number 4. The lion has a handsome mane. So you can see the mane of the lion in the picture also on the screen. So which word is a verb here? So what is the subject? Subject is the lion. But if you see, is there any word that show the action of the subject lion? No. So let's read the sentence again. The lion has a handsome mane. So do you see that the subject is doing any action? No. Does the sentence tell us about the state of being of the subject? No. But it tells us about the position of the subject, that what does the subject in the sentence have. So the subject in the sentence, the lion has. So the word has. It tells us of the position of the noun. What does the noun, position of the subject, what does the subject has? Mane. So this has, the word has is also a verb because it tells us about the position of the subject it tells us about the what the subject possesses. Understood? Now come to the second next example number 5. So just read down the sentence here in example number 5. I have a beautiful necklace. So if you read this sentence properly, the sentence has the subject I, but the sentence does not show any action done by the subject. It also even not show the state of being of the subject, but it shows the possession of the subject by saying that the subject has beautiful necklace. Okay, so the word have here shows the possession, so it is also a verb. In the same way, example number 6, the baby was crying all day. Here also the word was is a verb because it tells us about the state of being, what the baby was doing. The baby was crying. So here this verb has helped this main verb. Here the main action word is crying, but here this verb has helped this action word to make a tense, to form a tense. Okay, present continuous tense. So we will discuss about all these about these formation of tenses with the help of these verbs, these auxiliary verbs later. At first we have to identify the verbs here. See, example number 7, he plays football and chess. He plays football and chess. So the subject he here, the subject is here, and the sentence tells us about the action done by the subject here. So here he plays. So plays is the action word. So I have told you that action words are also verb. So here plays is also a verb. Next, he had gone away to the suburbs. So here the subject is he, and the sentence tells us about what the subject has, what the subject had, that means possession. So by using the use of the verb had, it has here the verb had has helped this sentence to frame the another tenses. Okay, another tense. Understood? So we will discuss about the formation of tenses with the help of these verbs later. How do these verbs help the sentences or help to express sentences in different tenses? We will do it later. Now students study for their examination. Students, subject is students here. So the sentence tells us about the action done by the subject, that is students here. So what does the subject do here? They study. The students study. So study is verb. The girls danced. So here action word danced is already the verb. The elephant is the largest animal on land. So what does the sentence tell us about? The sentence tells us about the subject elephant. So elephant is. So is the verb because it tells us about the state of being of the subject elephant. What is elephant? The largest animal on land. So is the verb here. Now see example number 12. It was raining during our entire stay in Goa. So here we have two verbs. One is was and another is raining. So here raining is the main action word, and this is this is helping verb, and it has helped this action word to form the continuous tense, that is past continuous tense. And the next one is, so these two are verb. Was is also verb, raining is also verb. Now Rajiv's brother works in a bank. So Rajiv's brother. So Rajiv's brother, this is subject. What does the sentence tells us about the subject? The subject walks. This is the action word, walks in a bank. So this is action word is verb. Now I love people who are kind to animals. So here the subject I. What does the subject I do? Here the subject I loves. Okay, so here love is verb. So here we have identified in this warm-up section we have identified all verbs. Now we will again understand verbs with definition and their kinds. So you can also see a short definition here on the screen. Verbs show action, state of being and possession. That we have already understood from the examples just now, that in some of the examples the words which are verbs, they are showing possession. Some of the verbs are showing state of being of the subject, and some of the verbs are showing the action done by the subjects. So these were all about the verbs and their functions. Now see here, that means all the words that show action, state of being and possession, they are called verbs. So now we will understand the kinds of verbs. So you can see here, verbs can be classified, or verbs can be divided into three categories. Category wise verbs can be divided. So these categories are again divided into further smaller groups. So at first we have to understand principal and auxiliary verbs. So principal and auxiliary verbs, here just we have understood in the examples in which I helped you to identify verbs just before. And another is transitive and intransitive verb. These also we will understand in this chapter. And finite and non-finite verbs. Okay. The first category of the classification or the division of verbs are principal and auxiliary verbs. Principal and auxiliary verbs are those verbs with the help of which we had made some sentences in the warm-up section of our this chapter, in which I helped you all to identify verbs just before. So here we have principal and auxiliary verbs. See, principal verbs means principal or main verbs. These all are the verbs that show action. All action words are principal verbs, or they are also called main verbs. Like we have some examples here. See, these verbs can stand alone. That means these verbs can stand alone to give a stand alone to show action. Okay, they show action done by the subject. That means they stand alone. They have their own importance. They are very important. They can be used alone to give a meaningful sense. Okay, principal. These are principal or main verbs. Main verbs are the important verbs in sentences because they alone can make a meaningful sense when they are used with the subjects. Now these verbs can stand alone. For example, see here, he wrote a letter. He wrote. What is the action done by the subject here? Subject, he wrote. Wrote is the past tense of the verb write. So see here, the action of the verb, the action of the subject he, that he has written. That means wrote is verb here. This is action word because this shows the action done by the subject he. She arrived at 10 a.m. See, arrived is also the past tense of the verb arrive. Okay, so this is also a verb. Okay, because it tells us about the action of the subject she. Action, what is the action of the subject she? She arrived. Okay, action of arriving. Now see, they have a big house. See here, they have a big house. So here, principal verb or main verbs that is used alone in sentences without the help of any other sentences. See here, have. Have itself is also an auxiliary verb. Okay, but when they are also treated as the main verb when they are used alone in a sentences, when they show possession. Okay, whenever they show possession, the group of have verbs. What are the group of have verbs? Have, has, had. This group of have verbs, have, has, had, and these are the group of have verbs. They help the subject to show its possession. Understood? In these sentences, the highlighted verbs are verbs express the complete meaning. They with the person and the number of the subject of sentence, and they change, they agree or change, okay, with the person and the number of subject of the sentence, and also show the time of the activity. That means, see, if you see the main verb, principal verbs, they have, each and every principal verb has five forms. Five forms. They are often called as B1, B2, B3, B4 and B5. They are named as B1, B2, B3 and B4 and B5. Okay, verb 1, verb 2, verb 3, verb 4, verb 5. So each principal verbs, they have five forms, and these five forms are used accordingly according to the number of subject, number of persons, or with the reference of time they change their forms. Okay, that means principal verbs or the main verbs have five forms, and they change their form according to the number of subject, and with the reference of time they are changed in sentences. Understood? Now come to auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs are also called helping verbs. What? Helping verbs. Okay. Why they are called helping verbs? Because they help main verbs in sentences to form actions in different tenses. Understood? See here. These verbs are often used with other verbs to complete the meaning of a sentence. That means whenever we use helping verbs or auxiliary verbs, we have to take help of another main verbs, that means principal verbs, to give a meaningful sense. Okay, but the principal verbs can be used alone to give a meaningful sense, but whenever we use these auxiliary verbs as the helping verbs, auxiliary verbs are the helping verbs, they are often used with main verbs to give meaningful sentences. Understood? Now see here. However, they sometimes stand alone and give meaning to a sentence as the main verb, for example. But in some cases, these auxiliary verbs are also treated as the main verb, like the principal verb. They can stand alone. Okay, like the dog is barking here. He is writing the dog is barking. The dog is barking. So here barking is the here the barking is the main verb and is the auxiliary verb, is the helping verb. So here the word is helping this B5 form of the verb bark to make a meaningful sense. Okay, now see, he is writing a letter. So here the main action word, the principal verb is writing, but here with the use of this auxiliary verb is it has been used with the main verb to give a meaningful sense. Okay, like she will come at 10 a.m. So here the main action word is come. Okay, but here with the help of the helping verb will, the sentence has given us the meaningful sense. Okay, understood? Because see, barking, writing, come, here these all verbs, action words, are giving us a meaningful sense with the help of these helping verbs. Okay, so to understand these, we have to understand the kinds of auxiliary verbs or auxiliary verbs also. Understood? So auxiliary verbs, see here, there are two kinds of auxiliary verbs. Okay, they are primary auxiliaries and another is modal auxiliaries. See, primary auxiliaries are the group of to be verbs, and the group of to do verbs. Okay, and the group of to have verbs. There are three groups of primary auxiliaries. One is to be verbs, to be group, one is to do group, and another is to have group. That means in to be verb we have is, am, are, was and were. Is, am, are, was and were are the group of to be verbs. Okay, these are the primary auxiliaries. Okay, primary auxiliaries. See, primary auxiliaries and modal auxiliaries are the two kinds of helping verbs. That means auxiliary verbs. That means auxiliary verbs are of two kinds, primary auxiliaries and modal auxiliaries. Okay, so primary auxiliaries are used to, in primary auxiliaries, to be verbs. I told you the group of to be verbs are used to show the state of being of subject. Okay, is, am, are is used in present tense and was and were are used in past tense. Okay, am is used with I in present tense, is used with the singular subject, are is used with the plural subject, was is used in the past tense, okay, with singular verb, and were is used with the past tense with the plural verb, a plural subject. Was with singular subject and were with plural subject. Now in the same way we have do, does and did, the group of to do verbs. Do is used with the plural subject, does is used with the singular subject in present tense. Okay, in the same sense, did is used with both singular and plural subject but in the past tense. Now the group of to have verb. Group of to have verb is used to show the possession of the subject. Okay, to have verbs, have, has and had. See, has is used in singular subject, have is used with plural subject in present tense, and had is used with both singular and plural subject but in past tense. Understood? So these were all about the primary auxiliary verbs. Now in primary auxiliary verbs, to do is used to make the interrogative sentence from the simple past tense that we will understand later, and also to make the negative sentence of the sentences which are written in simple tenses. Okay, now let us understand modal auxiliaries. See, modal auxiliaries are also the kinds of these auxiliary verbs or helping verbs. These modal auxiliaries do not have there are different forms, like 5 different forms like primary auxiliaries or main verbs. They do not have, they have only their single form. Like we have there are so many modal auxiliaries: can, must, may, might, will, would, shall, should, can, could, okay, must, ought to. So these are the examples of modal auxiliaries. So these modal auxiliaries are often used to, see, they are used with other verbs. So whenever we use modal auxiliaries, we need to use another main verb with these modal auxiliaries. Understood? Like here, C, may, be. So here this is modal auxiliaries and B is primary auxiliaries. C may be sleeping. Okay, so whenever we use modal auxiliaries, we need to use the main verbs. We need to use the main verbs to give a meaningful sentences. Okay, and whenever we use modal auxiliaries, they are used with other verbs to express probability. Probability means what is going to happen. Okay, what has to happen. Okay, what ought to happen. So that probability of the action. Okay, probability of the action in future. Determination, whenever you take any form, determination. Ability, whenever we express our ability. Okay, whenever we take obligation that we have to perform some task. Possibility, that something is possible to be happen. Wishes, whenever we wish someone, and so on. These, whenever we use all these kinds of action, at that time we take help of modal auxiliaries. Okay, like some of the examples we have. Whenever we use modal auxiliaries, they need a principal verb to complete the meaning, because without the use of principal verbs or the main verbs, modal auxiliaries do not give us any meaningful sense. Like Radha is late, she may be sleeping. So may, here modal auxiliary verb may has been used with the main verb sleeping to give a meaningful sense, possibility. I should wash my clothes today, obligation. So I should wash. See, this is the main verb. This is modal auxiliary, should is modal auxiliary, and wash is main verb. So here modal auxiliaries has taken the help of this main verb to give a meaningful sense. So we can have we have so many examples here. He can drive a car, ability. He can, what can he do? He can drive. So he can drive. Can is modal auxiliary and drive is helping verb. Okay, can I shut the door? This is also the permission, to ask the permission also. Can I shut the door or may I shut the door? In the same way, both are, can and may both are modal auxiliaries. You should obey your parents' advice. Should obey. So always modal auxiliaries are always followed by the main verbs to give meaningful sense, like Rajan will always be late. Will always be late. Will be. So this is the primary auxiliary. Okay, so with the use of primary auxiliary, here the modal auxiliary will has given a complete sense. Okay, so in this video we have understood all about primary auxiliaries, modal auxiliaries, and principal modal auxiliary verbs, primary auxiliary verbs, and the principal verbs or the main verbs. In our next video we will understand transitive and intransitive verbs, and also finite and non-finite verbs. Okay, this much for today's class. Thank you so much, students. I hope you have understood well.